What if I told you credit was never meant to set you free? From ancient debt prisons to the seductive promise of buy now, pay later, this is the story they never taught you in school. Because the truth is, credit didn't evolve to help you, it evolved to control you. Let's unravel the dark side of history behind debt and discover how to finally break free. Part 1, Debt as Slavery. From iron chains to leather wallets. Let's go back, way back. Not to the 1980s credit boom, not even to the 1900s banking revolution. I'm talking Babylon, nearly 4,000 years ago. Back then, debt wasn't a financial inconvenience. It was a life-altering sentence. If a farmer couldn't pay back what he borrowed to plant his crops, he'd lose his land, his home. Sometimes even his children. Yes, children were collateral in the earliest debt contracts. If the interest piled too high, families were sold off, one by one. That wasn't just a legal system, it was a cycle of human bondage disguised as commerce. And it wasn't unique to Babylon. Now zoom ahead to ancient Rome. The Latin word nexum referred to debt bondage, a status worse than being a slave born into servitude. Because at least the slaves didn't have to pretend they had freedom. The indebted citizen, however, could vote, own property, but live with the daily threat that a missed payment could send him into chains, forced to work off the balance. That's the part they don't teach in high school economics. The earliest credit systems weren't designed for growth. They were designed for control. Fast forward again, medieval Europe. You couldn't imprison someone for stealing bread. But owing money, that could land you in a debtor's prison. Small merchants, farmers, even veterans, all locked away for failing to meet the terms of a loan, no income, no way to pay it back, and no legal path forward. It was the perfect trap. And here's the kicker. The debt didn't stop while you were in prison. In fact, it kept growing. Interest continued to accumulate while your family sold off whatever they had left to free you. Imagine being jailed for 100 silver coins, then emerging years later, owing 300. Jump to the early 20th century, the industrial era. You'd think we'd left all that behind, right? But instead of disappearing, the system just got smarter, more elegant, more socially acceptable. Enter consumer credit. At first, it was just installment plans, buying furniture in monthly payments. Then came the charge card revolution, and with it the most effective form of debt slavery ever invented, the credit card. No handcuffs, no jail cell, just minimum payments. A gentle voice telling you, why pay $1,000 today when you can pay $30 a month? Forever. Here's a brutal truth. Modern credit systems are just high-tech shackles. Instead of iron chains around your wrists, it's a $12,000 Visa balance wrapped around your paycheck. Instead of a prison guard, you've got an algorithm watching your FICO score, deciding whether you're worthy of a higher limit. The names changed, the penalties changed, but the power dynamic, it didn't go anywhere. And let's not forget the social element. In ancient times, debt was shameful, public, brutal. Now, it's the opposite. You're not just encouraged to take on debt, you're expected to. College, loans, car, lease, wedding, put it on a card. Medical bills, finance it. We've turned debt into a lifestyle brand. The debt trap is now decorated with cashback points, airline miles, and 0% interest for the first 12 months. It's marketed as freedom, but it's really a financial treadmill with no off switch. And here's the most chilling part. This system wasn't built by accident. The big players, banks, fintech companies, hedge funds, they profit when you're just barely surviving. Why? Because interest is predictable, struggle is stable. A customer in crisis is a revenue stream that doesn't end. You see, if you pay your credit card in full every month, they call you a deadbeat. Not because you're irresponsible, but because you're not making the money. The longer you stay in debt, the more valuable you become. So what really changed between the man in shackles 2,000 years ago and the average American with 5 credit cards and a 30-year mortgage? Not much. He worked to pay his debt. So do you? He didn't own his time, neither do you. He feared for his freedom. You fear for your credit score. But here's where it gets different. You have knowledge. You're not living in the shadows of a medieval castle or under the rule of an ancient emperor. You live in an age where you can see the trap for what it is. And once you see it, you can start to plan your way out. That's what debt management is really about. Not just spreadsheets and snowball methods, but reclaiming your freedom one decision at a time. Part 2, the credit card trap. Let's talk about the invention that changed everything. Not the smartphone, not the microwave. I'm talking about the credit card. A slim piece of plastic with a dangerously thick history. When Diners Club introduced the first credit card in 1950, it was pitched as a symbol of sophistication, exclusivity. You weren't just buying things, you were buying status. It felt like magic. Walk into a restaurant, flash the card, walk out without handing over $1. The bill would come later, and that's when the trap closed. Because credit cards don't just delay payment, they distort reality. They trick your brain into thinking, I can afford this. Why? Because there's no friction, no cash changing hands, just a tap, a swipe, a confirmation screen. Suddenly that $3,000 vacation feels like a $50 decision. But behind that swipe is an empire built on interest. Banks aren't lending you money out of generosity. They're betting on one simple truth: most people don't pay in full, and that's where the money is. In 2024 alone, Americans paid over $130 billion in credit card interest. Let that sink in. That's not the principal, that's just the fee for owing. But it gets worse, because the system is intentionally designed to keep you in it. Take the term minimum payment. Sounds helpful, right? Wrong. It's a trap. Let's say you owe $5,000 and you're paying the minimum, about $100 a month. Do you know how long it'll take to pay that off? More than 20 years, and you'll pay over $10,000 in interest. So your $5,000 purchase becomes $15,000 of pain. All because the system told you, hey, just pay the minimum, you're doing great. And while you're paying, they're watching. Credit card companies use behavioral analytics to track your spending patterns. They know when you're most likely to spend, what categories make you feel impulsive, and when you're most vulnerable, after payday, during holidays, or when you're stressed. It's not a coincidence that you get limit increases after you've maxed out your card. They want you in debt, but not too deep to default. They want you juggling, not walking away. And who profits from this? Banks, who charge up to 30% APR on revolving debt. Credit bureaus, who sell your behavior to lenders. Debt collectors, who buy unpaid balances for pennies and chase you relentlessly. Retailers, who make more sales when you don't feel the pain of spending. The whole thing is a financial food chain, and guess what? You're at the bottom. Even the language is manipulative. Words like credit limit sounds like a feature. It's actually your leash. Rewards sounds like a gift, it's bait. Intro APR sounds like a break, it's a delayed punishment. Every part of this machine is designed to encourage behavior that keeps the engine running. And the fuel, your debt. And here's what few people realize: debt isn't just a money issue. It's a mental load. Every swipe adds a whisper in your head: you owe. You're behind. You're not free. Debt isn't neutral. It's psychological warfare. It steals sleep. It kills relationships. It causes anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems. And yet, every week the mail brings you a new shiny envelope. You're pre-approved. It doesn't mean you're doing well. It means you're profitable. Let's put it bluntly. Financial freedom and credit card culture can't coexist, because the system wants you close enough to feel rich, but deep enough to stay poor. That's not just commerce. That's a control mechanism. So what's the solution? The first step is awareness. Understand the game, know the rules, see the trap. Then you fight back, not by never using credit, but by using it strategically. Pay in full, every time. Track your spending like it's a war budget. Refuse to be manipulated by points, perks, or shiny cards, because if you don't control the plastic in your wallet, it'll control every part of your life. Let's be clear, we're not saying credit. Part 3, modern-day debt culture. You ever notice how debt today doesn't look like debt? It's not a man begging outside debtor's prison anymore. It's not someone auctioning off family land to pay back a loan. It's a young adult on Instagram, smiling on a beach, funded by a credit card balance that's quietly eating their future. Welcome to the age of financial cosplay, where we pretend to be richer than we are, where we spend money we haven't earned to impress people we don't even like for a lifestyle we can't sustain. And the scariest part? Society rewards us for it. Buy the newest phone on credit, people say, nice upgrade. Lease a luxury car at 15% interest. People say, you're moving up. But say, I'm debt-free, I drive a 10-year-old car and I'm building my emergency fund. Suddenly, you're the weird one. Debt isn't taboo anymore, it's a trend. And just like any trend, it's profitable for someone else. Let's break down the modern debt culture into 3 main lies. Lie 1, you need credit to survive. You hear this everywhere. You need to build credit. You won't get an apartment without a good score. No credit history is worse than bad credit. Let's be clear, Yes, in today's system, having a credit score helps. But let's not confuse necessity with virtue. The system punishes those who avoid debt and rewards those who use it just enough without escaping it. It's like a hamster wheel, run fast enough to stay in the loop but never get off. That's not financial freedom, that's behavioral training. Lie 2, monthly payments mean you can afford it. You know this one too well. It's only $29 a month. Drive it home today with just $199 down. No interest for 12 months. But here's the truth bomb. If you have to break it into 36 payments, you can't afford it. Monthly payments are the enemy of wealth. They drain your income. They delay your savings. They blind you to the true cost of your choices. A $1,200 phone becomes $1,800 after interest. A $25,000 car becomes $35,000. And the mental math? Always wrong. Because what they're really selling is distraction from the total cost. Lie 3. Everyone's in debt, so it's normal. Ah, yes, the normalization lie. When everyone's doing it. It feels safe, but normal doesn't mean healthy. 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's not because they're lazy. It's because they're trapped in a system that teaches spending over saving, image over substance, and comfort now over freedom later. Debt is so common. We no longer call it a crisis, we call it life. But just because something's common doesn't make it wise. And this is where the dark side of history sneaks back in. In ancient times, debt was imposed through conquest, taxes, survival. Today, it's marketed. It's sold with smiling actors, soft piano music, and phrases like, "You deserve it. Live your best life. Don't wait to experience luxury." But the truth is, debt delays real happiness. Because every luxury you finance today is a weight you carry tomorrow, and when tomorrow comes, you're not smiling on a beach. You're checking your account balance, hoping the payment cleared. So what does all this mean? It means that modern debt culture isn't freedom, it's a beautifully packaged illusion. It gives the appearance of choice, but only within the boundaries of what you can borrow. It offers convenience, but trades it for your future time and energy. It sells the dream of abundance by turning your paycheck into a liability before you even earn it. And it convinces you you're successful because your life looks rich, even if your soul feels poor. But here's the flip side. And yes, there is one. More and more people are waking up. More and more people are saying, "I don't care what my car says about me. I don't need the latest iPhone if I don't have an emergency fund. I'd rather own less and owe no one." And that shift, that's where real financial freedom begins. Because freedom is not having it all. Freedom is not needing it all. Freedom is living. Part 4, break the. So far, we've uncovered how debt evolved. From chains on your wrists to chains on your wallet. From public shame to private anxiety. But here's the truth no lender wants you to know. You can escape. It's not easy. It's not instant, but it's possible, and it starts with a decision. A decision to stop treating debt as normal. A decision to stop playing by the system's rules. And a decision to take your power back step by step. Let's walk through the process of real debt management. Not theory, not fluff, but what actually works. Step 1, face your numbers. You can't fight what you won't look at. So open the drawer, log into the apps. Pull out the bills and face the full picture. Write it all down. How much, interest rates, minimum payments, due dates. You might feel embarrassed. You might feel overwhelmed. But here's the mindset shift. This isn't about guilt. This is about getting the map to your freedom. Because until you know where you stand, you can't plan where to go. Step 2, organize the enemy. Once you see the full list, it's time to choose your weapon. There are 2 main strategies that work. The avalanche method. You pay off the highest interest debt first. This saves you the most money long-term. It's cold, calculated, and efficient. The snowball method. You pay off the smallest balances first to build momentum and confidence. This one's about psychology. Progress you can feel quickly. Both are valid. Choose the one that matches your mindset. But the key is, stick with it. Don't jump between strategies, and don't get discouraged if it's slow. Because freedom is built on consistency, not speed. Step 3, cut off the poison. If you're trying to empty a sinking boat, you don't just scoop out the water, you patch the hole. That means stop swiping credit cards, stop opening new accounts, stop financing things you don't need. Use cash or debit only while you're in debt payoff mode. Unlink shopping apps. Delete buy now, pay later tools. Cancel retail credit cards. You're not just changing behavior. You're rewiring your brain to stop relying on future money for today's problems. Step 4, build a mini emergency fund. Here's where most people mess up. They throw every dollar into debt, and then life hits them with a surprise expense. Suddenly the car breaks down, or a medical bill shows up, and guess what? The credit card comes back. So before you go all in on paying debt, build a $1,000 mini emergency fund. This buffer protects you from sliding backward. It gives you breathing room, which gives you strength. Don't skip this step. It's not wasted money, it's your financial armor. Step 5, create a freedom budget. Most people hate budgeting. They think it means restriction, punishment, boredom, but budgeting isn't about saying no. It's about saying yes, intentionally. A real budget tells your money where to go before it disappears. Start simple: fixed expenses, rent, bills, food. Minimum debt payments, emergency savings, small allowance for joy. Yes, really, deprivation leads to burnout. Everything else, toward your top debt target. And here's the magic: a budget is not a prison, it's a plan to escape one. Step 6, earn more, not just spend less. Let's be real, there's only so much you can cut. At some point, the key to faster freedom is more income. Side hustles, weekend gigs, freelancing, selling clutter, not forever, not burnout style, but enough to give your debt plan rocket fuel. Because throwing $300 at debt each month is good, but throwing $1,000, that's freedom in fast forward. Step 7, track progress. Every time you pay off a balance, celebrate. Every $1,000 gone, record it. Every card you close, burn it if you want. You are undoing years of marketing manipulation. Family patterns and economic design, that's not small. That's revolutionary, treat it like one. Here's the final truth: no one is coming to rescue you, but you don't need rescue. You need a plan and the courage to follow it. Debt management isn't about shame, it's about power. Every dollar you reclaim is a vote for your future. Every debt you kill is a weight lifted from your mind. Every day you choose to live below your means is a day you get closer to living beyond your limits. Because financial freedom isn't for other people. It's not just for the rich. It's for you if you're willing to fight for it. $1 at a time, one choice at a time, and the best part, once you break the chains, they can never own you again. Part 5, real financial freedom, beyond the illusion. So what is financial freedom really? It's one of those phrases we hear everywhere. Books, podcasts, YouTube gurus, they all say, achieve financial freedom. Buy my course. Follow these 7 passive income hacks. But let's get honest. Financial freedom isn't a hashtag, it's not a luxury vacation. It's not a Lamborghini in a rented garage, it's peace of mind. It's the absence of fear every time you open your bank app. It's knowing that you control your money, not the other way around. You don't have to be a millionaire to be free, you just need to not be owned. Let me say that again. Financial freedom is not about how much you have. It's about how little you owe and how much you control your choices. So let's clear away the illusion. Financial freedom is not making 6 figures but spending 7, having a 750 credit score but $90,000 in debt, leasing a $70,000 car while living paycheck to paycheck, saving nothing but owning every new gadget. That's not freedom. That's a house of cards built on image. That's looking rich while living broke. That's the dark side of financial culture. We've been sold the illusion that wealth is loud. But real wealth, real freedom, it's quiet. Here's what real financial freedom is: having a cushion between you and disaster. Saying no to a job that doesn't align with your values. Taking a week off to be with your sick parent and not panicking about the rent. Sleeping deeply at night because your bills are paid in full. Buying with cash and walking away from what you can't afford. Freedom is flexibility. Freedom is margin. Freedom is control over time, energy, and decisions. And you don't need to wait until someday to start building it. Here's a truth no influencer will tell you. The boring path leads to freedom. Not trading crypto at 2 a.m. Not trying to flip 10 airbeams with no cash down. Not joining the next financial revolution every 6 months. It's the unsexy stuff, paying off your debt slowly. Spending less than you make consistently. Building an emergency fund patiently. Investing in index funds quietly. Saying no to trends and yes to long-term peace. That's not flashy, that's not viral, but that's how freedom is really built. Because here's the real test: if your income stopped tomorrow, how long could you stay calm? A week, a month, 6 months? If the answer is not long, then your lifestyle owns you. not the other way around. That's not freedom. That's just a golden cage. And the key to escape isn't out there. It's in the habits you repeat every day. Let's go deeper. Financial freedom isn't just about you. It's about legacy. What you teach your kids, what stress you pass or don't pass on to your partner. What systems you build so that the next generation doesn't start from zero. Because if you've ever grown up in a household filled with financial anxiety, you know, money pain echoes through families. Breaking that cycle, that's freedom too. And here's something powerful, even if you're deep in debt, even if you've made mistakes, even if you're starting at age 45, 55, or 65. It's not too late, because freedom isn't a destination. It's a way of moving forward, one honest dollar at a time, and every time you choose progress over perfection. Every time you say, I don't need to impress anyone, just protect my future. You are already walking the path. Don't let the system tell you you're behind. Don't let your debt define you. Don't let your past choices predict your future. You are more than your balance, more than your credit report, more than your paycheck. You are someone who can rise, someone who can rebuild, someone who can become truly free. Because here's the secret they'll never teach you in school. The real wealth is not being in a hurry anymore. It's waking up each day with options and going to bed each night without regret. That's financial freedom, and it's waiting for you. Not in the lottery, not in a crypto moonshot, but in the choices you make today. If this video opened your eyes, do something radical, take back control. Leave a comment.